As you come in, my name is Jaye the Black, and I'm your host. And we're going to talk about this is going to be in what the title says. We're going to talk about the consequences of dating the bad boys. And what inspired me to do this particular topic had to do with somebody that I actually spoke about years ago. All right. See if I can find her. I spoke about this woman by the name of Marie Holmes, right? And apparently I saw an article where she's being sued by an ex-con boyfriend who's currently locked up, won't get out till 2023. And he's suing her. Can you believe that? This is a woman who spent $21 million of her $88 million earnings to keep him out of jail. Again, make sure y'all like the stream. Shout out to everybody that's here, man. Shout out to the moderator. Shout out to the channel members. If you want to support the channel and show that you're a top supporter of me when I go live, make sure y'all click that join button. Also, make sure y'all go and subscribe to the Patreon. I put up a new Patreon video yesterday. I actually had to re-upload it because YouTube flagged it because it's a long story. And but I reposted the video. I had to edit out the first portion. And it was basically about the Beat the Cheat challenge. And I talked about how these women really don't need protection. If anything, the men that they're with need protecting. Okay? And we definitely going to get into this. I may speak about that later. Maybe that'll come up. Who knows? But let's see who's here early. All right. See True, Trey, Vernon, Sydney was good. Ruth, what's up? Gerald, Miss Tangy. See True, D Breakdown, Samurai Will, JJ Diesel, Ernest. Appreciate the super chat from Ernest. Let's see. Appreciate the super chat from Shy. Divine, what's good? Shout out to Silent Gary with the super chat as well. Divine Goddess, what's up? Larry, Nevia TV, what's up? Jermaine, Chigozi, Book Outer Case, Ashley, Barbara, what's up? King Dambo, Abby, Beautiful Mystery, what's going on? Ricky E245, what's going on? Smoothie, what's up? Young Lions, what's good? Zev1. But yeah, I had to repost it the way, I don't use that, but I reposted it and it's up on Patreon. And again, y'all go and check it out. Shout out to the people that support my Patreon. I am posting videos at least once or twice a week. The next video I'm going to work on is probably The Secret Part 2. The Secret, if anybody know what The Secret Part 1 is, you'll know what The Secret Part 2 is. So we definitely going to get into this, but you want to support, you can go do that. All right. Saying LB, what's up? Red Pill Alpha was good. Yo, like the stream, people. Oh, a word of advice. Okay. Don't try to go at the moderators. Because if I see you, you out of here. Okay. We don't play that here. I made people moderators for a reason. They're supposed to keep eyes on the chat when I'm not looking. So, yeah. And if you also have weird profile pics, yeah, you really finna get out of here. Now, I want y'all to understand something. In regards to the content, that I do, especially on the live shows, I want to be specifically sticking to one particular thing. That's why I'm putting certain topics on my Basic Social Politics channel. I want this to be more of a thinking channel in regards to the social interactions we have every day. Let's go, little Trill. Yo, make sure y'all keep liking the stream. All right. It's good, okay, Patrick. So, in regards to Marie Holmes, she was, oh yeah. This is a side note. One of the premier level up leaders of the level up community, they basically they went on a little vacation. I don't know how long it's gonna last or what may have happened, but I think they went on a little vacation. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but yeah, man. I mean, you can't be on here talking about men being dusty and trying to teach women how to get rich men, and you out here stealing. You can't be doing the two. Shout out to Solo TV 84. I saw the video he posted. I couldn't help but chuckle. I don't like to see people down bad, but damn. That's why I say you can't believe everything you hear, man. They can hide behind the paint and the hair, but there's something deeper there, if you know what I mean. It's good, Debbie. Shout out to Kevo. Oh, let me see if I'm getting the notifications popping up. Supposed to be reading them. Say peace, forgiving the people. That really appreciate that, Kevo. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Y'all can't be teaching these women to level up when you still on that first level. So you want them to level up, above you? See, this is why people be out here fronting. And a melanated woman told me a couple years ago. She says that women be out here faking it. That's that, and she said they fake it till they make it, basically. And they will make you believe that their life is so much better than everybody else's when it's not. It's all a facade. Okay? If you don't have a man, you can't teach women how to get a man, especially a man of high value. Okay? Because women should know what another woman wants, right? But what happens when that woman honestly doesn't know how to get a man herself? How is she going to tell anybody how to get a man? You know? So y'all need to vet who you're actually listening to. Right? Vet who you're listening to. Because some of these people will be full of it. Okay? They will tell you anything for that donation. Anything to get that donation, anything to get that consultation. They will say anything you want to hear. That's why you got these males like, Derek Jackson and some of these other guys who are they might as well be part of the level up community. Shit. I mean, they out here, it's all about telling women what they want to hear and making it seem like nothing is wrong. Bro, everything is wrong. All right, Ednice, appreciate you being here. All right. Shout out there, Ednice. So, yeah, man, vet who you're listening to. A lot of these people will tell you just about anything for that donation, okay? For the donation, the consultation, for you to buy their products that they probably ain't even theirs. They just promoting it for somebody. So just be very careful who you're, choosing to give your energy to, all right? Because a lot of these people, I mean, as I said before, they will do anything to get you to support them. Anything to get you to support them. Okay? They have all types of skeletons in their closet. They pointing the finger at somebody and they got 5 pointing right back at them. And not including their children. Because you know they probably got about 4 or 5 kids. They ain't even told you about. That's what's crazy out here. Probably got as many kids as Marie Holmes. Right? And I'll tell you, all this could tie in together. All this ties in together. You know? A lot of finessing going on. A lot of lying going on. A lot of manipulating. A lot of games being played. What's good, Denitza? It's good. Yeah, man, make sure y'all like the stream, too. Let's get to 100. We had 100 likes already. Yeah, they have read the pastor's playbook. That might be another Patreon video. The pastor's playbook. Some of these people are reading the pastor's playbook to finessing these heifers out of money. All right? That's what we have going on. Let's see. Let's say real quick. You know, we're going to have some people hating. That's going to come into the chat. Moderators, make sure that you are looking out for that. Okay? Pay more attention to that. All right? To people being disgruntled. You know, I hurt feelings easily. I guess they don't like the fact that I'm going to be talking about thugs. Now, I want y'all to understand. Hold on. I want y'all to understand in me doing this particular video or stream. Video stream. So used to doing videos. Me doing this video. Make sure y'all like it. You have women out here who make poor choices in men for years. And they will have multiple children with these men for years. Right? Only to then break up with those types of men, and when they're in their mid to late 30s, early 40s, now all of a sudden they hate their baby daddies. They have disdain towards the baby daddies, and now they want a good man to come and wife them up and build a life with them. But it took you 4 or 5 kids for you to realize that? Your best years, you were used up. You done had all types of relations with all types of different dudes. We ain't just talking about the boyfriends. We ain't just talking about the ex-husbands. We talking side dudes. We talking the one night stands from the clubs. Might even be, people, your coworkers. These women are giving it out to a lot of different dudes. Okay. So they get used up. And then once they realize the jig is up, now they want to change.
Blessings.
Blessings to you, Mr. The Jaw. Appreciate it. Why you call you Mr. Jaw? Your name is The Jaw. Why I call you Mr. But yeah, shout out to you, man. You got these women who make all these mistakes, right? Like Marie Holmes. That's why she's on the screen. Marie Holmes being sued by her ex-boyfriend who's currently incarcerated. How can you be sued by somebody that's incarcerated? That lets me know that this dude knows that he can always depend on her to get him out of situations, to the point to where when it seems like she might be moving away from this guy as far as not dealing with him no more, now he wants to sue her from jail. I just want to know what lawyer is taking up his case. Like, seriously. This woman spent $21 million keeping him out of jail, only for him to be incarcerated for 7 years. These are the type of women who overpopulate the melanated community. You done spent $21 million of your mama's earnings. I believe her mother is the one who actually had, I believe, the winning numbers. Right? They actually had the winning numbers. So because of that, it gets to a point to where she wants to help her daughter who has multiple children by multiple men. None of those men are in the picture. None of those men came back into the picture when she won the money because she was dealing with this dude. So from my understanding, what's good, Ms. Lakers? From my understanding, right? She went and moved to Washington State, I believe, and has been there for the last, I think, 5 years since he's been locked up. And she may have gotten rid of his stuff and decided to move on. She probably dealing with another guy. She probably been dealing with multiple men, but maybe she wanted more of a low-key lifestyle, which is probably what it was. Probably wanted more of a low-key lifestyle, right? So she's getting rid of his stuff. Now he want to sue her. So what I want to know is who's taking up this case to defend this guy who's incarcerated when he should be fighting his own case. But maybe because he knows he's getting out 2023, he's trying to get something out of it for all the money gone. Now, I don't know how her money situation is doing. This woman has bought multiple properties. I hope she fixed her credit, start businesses, had a chance to make money outside of the winning lotto ticket, right? But the reason why I say there's consequences to that is because he's now suing her. This is the woman who paid $21 million to keep him out of jail. She paid all that money to keep this lame out of jail. It was good, man. To the point to where he got another 7 years because he couldn't stay because the guy wanted to be in these streets. Even though he's with a rich woman, that ain't enough. He got to go out here and be some kingpin. And that's why I say, man, these guys will never be able to turn their life around. I know street dudes or dudes that were in the street, dudes in and out of jail who are able to turn their life around because they were tired of going to jail. They were tired of being away from their children. They wanted to go legit. And you know what? They did. But some of these guys don't want to go the legit route because they don't want to be seen as corny or lame. But, bro, it's either that or you go back to jail. It's either that or you go back to jail. And you got women who will deal with those guys. If those guys don't know how to make money legitimately, why are you dealing with them? Because you're going to end up getting yourself caught up. That $21 million Marie Holmes used on her ex, she could have used basically starting a financial foundation for herself by starting a company, starting multiple businesses, employing people, right? But, I mean, maybe she has done that. Well, from what I've read, she hasn't. So she took that money instead of putting it away for her children, putting these funds up for her kids once they're adults or once they turn 18, right? Securing their future. She wants to go and she says, you know what? This dude is more important than my kids' financial future or grandkids' financial future. And they will do whatever it takes to keep their thug boyfriend. But you got these hard-headed dudes that never listen. They can't get enough of jail. So you know what's going to happen? You're going to keep going back. All because you want to be in these streets. All because you feel like you got a point to prove. Bro, they're going to be monitoring you the moment they set you free. They're just waiting for the right for the right time. They're just waiting for you to mess up. And these guys always end up messing up. And they always end up right back being incarcerated. And you got women like Marie Holmes who are willing to put up the money to make sure they get out, pay the lawyers. But the boyfriend is suing you. No good deed goes unpunished. I just want to know how she feels about this dude suing her. I mean, she has her own group of attorneys. I'm pretty sure she got some very good lawyers. But this dude is suing you when you've been paying all this money to keep him out, only for him to say, F you, I'm suing you. When a dude knows he can get over on a woman, he's going to continue to do it over and over and over. He's going to continue to get over on you because you let him. And instead of putting your kids first and putting the right type of energy around yourself and your kids, you want to go and take care of a grown child, which is what this guy is. Any man that cannot take care of himself and provide for himself legally is a child. I don't care what his age is. Unless he physically cannot take care of himself, but the guy honestly physically can take care of himself, but he don't want to. A lot of these guys are dumb. They think that being in these streets, being on the streets and trying to be a dope dealer, they feel like that's the best course of action for them, and it's not. It's not the best course of action. And we have to look at that. We really have to look at that. Y'all want to date these men who have no future. None. And y'all know what these pro-blacks do. The pro-blacks, I noticed the pro-black community, they elevate these types of people. And they try to make it seem like something is wrong with us for wanting to not get in trouble with the law, for wanting to work regular jobs. They think something is wrong with us. They think something is wrong with people who don't want to get in trouble with the law. No, something is wrong with you, sir. You want to go back to basically indentured servitude. What's indentured servitude? You basically want to go back to being a slave. Because that's what you are when you're locked up. You're told when to get up. You're told when to go to sleep. You're told when you can leave out your cell. You're told when you can eat. You want that routine instead of living freely and not getting in trouble. I'm not going to say it's easy not to get in trouble, because if you live in certain environments, you're going to get in trouble. But a lot of these guys know right from wrong, and they do wrong because they feel like they have something to prove. They feel like they got a name out there, and they have something to prove.
Decisions made in fear or desperation is a bad choice. You can tell she doesn't surround herself with people who have her best interest in mind. Sad.
I agree. And that's the thing that happens. You have these black women who are single mothers, and they tend to make a lot of their decisions based off of emotion and not really using a more capable logical thought process. We all know women aren't logical, yes. But how long are you going to go having the wrong type of people around you? You should be around people that's going to motivate you to do better. Not you have to basically teach them or tell them or do for them. I would never want to be around people who are constantly needing me to help them. I would not want to be in that situation. I wouldn't want to be in a situation where, around people who they give off bad energy. Every time you're around them, you just have a negative feeling. Like, I gotta be around this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel that way, then you obviously are around people who aren't good for you. And a change needs to be made, right? A change needs to be made. So, in regards to Marie Holmes, appreciate that, Kevo. Shout out to Kevo Starts. In Marie Holmes, I would say this. She's a woman who I would hope has changed her ways. I haven't heard much of her in the last couple of years or so. Only that she's being sued after the millions that she spent trying to keep this same guy out of jail. This should tell her that he don't care about her. This should tell her that she's in a situation where she was the cow. She was basically giving out that milk for free. Well, to her quote unquote boyfriend, right? Women should never put themselves in a situation where they have to take care of a grown man, especially when they have multiple children. People you should be taking care of is your children, not no man that you're sleeping with. You should not be doing that under any circumstances. If he can't get himself together, then you don't need to be with him. And too many of these westernized women, especially in the melanated community, are stuck on thug dizic. They're stuck on thug dizic. They just got to have thug dizic by any means. And these ain't just the single moms that work regular jobs. We talking about women who own businesses. We talking about women who are educated, women who work in corporate America, women who work in some of these offices, right? Customer service, like no matter what job, you name it, registered nurses. A lot of them are dating the same type of males. They just don't care about the dude's finances, and that's sad. But what's funny is that these same women want to get on social media and talk about how they want a man of high value. Really? But every boyfriend you've dated has been broke. I'm not talking about making less than you. I'm talking about broke. No money at all. Can't do nothing for you. He ain't got it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about destitute broke. I'm talking about only one duffel bag broke. Okay? I'm talking about ain't drove his own car in years broke. All right? I'm talking about ain't held a job consistently in years. I'm talking about that broke. And women will still date these guys as long as they meet the physical criteria, I guess. That's all they need. That's it. And they're willing to work one job, two jobs, go to school, just to come home to a dude who ain't doing nothing but playing video games, or he's texting and talking to other women. That's what we have. Correction officer, right? The correction officers are the correctional officers are getting those jobs just to be in close contact with them dudes. So we really got to look at those things, man. We have a society of women who say one thing and do another. They can get in these chat rooms and these comment sections, and they can talk of this level up BS all they want to, but they don't believe it. They don't believe it. A lot of these women that y'all see on social media who are talking about leveling up, talking about divesting, do y'all know the majority of them don't even divest? They really don't. A lot of them are just angry because they can't change the men that they want. Women rarely change their preferences. It takes a lot for a woman to change her preference. It takes a lot. Most of these women are not going to change their preference. It's going to take a lot for them to want to change their preferences. They like who they like. Just ask them. They're not going to change their preferences. But what's interesting is that they want to come to social media and put everything on men as if they have their shit together and men are just being lazy. No. The men that you are dating are being lazy. They don't want to work. They don't have a driver's license. They don't have a place to stay. They have one duffel bag, maybe a book bag. That's all they have. Some of them probably don't even have a wallet. They walking around here going from woman to woman. That's why these dudes claim they get so many women, because they not doing nothing. They not working. They not doing nothing. So they got all this time on their hands to go and date women or try to holler at women. That's why they can claim that they got game. Yeah, you got game because you have to have game. If you didn't have game, you wouldn't have a place to stay. Now, would ya? You would not have no place to stay. You would be homeless or living with your mother unless she kicks you out. And these are the type of males these women are giving their energy to. And they've been doing it for years. This ain't a new thing. Women have been dating these broke, destitute males for what, since the 80s? Since the 80s they've been doing it? Since the 80s, 90s? Definitely since the 90s. I mean, we see it in TV shows and movies. The woman who's working, the dude just sitting at home. So we know that this has been a thing for a long time. But all of a sudden, now that there's internet, now that there's social media, they want to pretend as if they just been doing everything right and they just haven't met the men of their standards. But ask them, what happened with your last relationship? And they really don't want to talk about it. Or they'll talk about it as she left him because he was cheating. How y'all notice they all claim these dudes are cheating, but they never talk about the fact that these dudes ain't working, so they ain't got nothing to do but get online and search for women. They ain't got nothing to do. If these guys were working productive jobs, you wouldn't be able to catch them cheating so easily. They wouldn't have that much time on their hands. I'm not saying that men don't step out on their girlfriends and wives, but if yet they're all using the same excuses. Right? No, you broke up with him because you realized he was a financial burden. He was a financial burden on you, and you realize you just can't do it anymore. And listen, it's okay, but you need to make that change. Stop dating men who don't have anything. But just because you're physically attractive, there's a lot of women that I see that are physically attractive, but dating them is different.
A lot of black women have the Eve mentality. Eve didn't want to listen to Adam the lame square. So instead she wanted the attention of the serpent.
That's interesting. It's interesting connection. I would say definitely hard-headed. And that's fine. That's why I have the few women who do listen to me. Maybe they're a lot. I don't know. They're able to really understand what I'm saying and learn from what I'm saying, and are actually able to better themselves. Y'all know how many women who've listened to me and I've talked to one-on-one, they end up in relationships. They end up understanding who they are more, because I'm able to be honest with them, and I'm able to say, listen, if you don't make those changes, you are not going to be able to be happy. You're not going to be able to find that guy that you want long term. And the best thing for you to do is to listen to where I'm coming from on this. Because I have no dog in the fight. Everybody is entitled to live their life the way they want to. What's good, Shantia? You're entitled to live your life the way you want to live it. And I'm entitled to tell you the truth.
The free-thinking black man must be protected at all costs.
Appreciate that, Joe K. Free thinking should be a right. We should have a right to it. But for a lot of you Western women, a lot of you are going to be alone for a very long time. It's just going to be you and your dogs or your cats or whatever, pets you have. If you don't learn to do better with yourself and just sit back and just sit down and just think about all the men that you've dated over the years and why you were attracted to them, why it didn't work, why their relationships keep failing over and over and over. What is it about that guy? I would like to know what woman is attracted to a man that doesn't work, that doesn't have his own car, who doesn't have his own place to stay. Because again, like I was saying, there are women that I've seen that are physically attractive, but am I gonna go and say, hey, I would wife her up? I would marry her. I would want to be in a long-term relationship with that person. Okay, hold on. Shout out to Beautiful Mystery with the 20 on Cash App. I appreciate that. Shout out to you for that. I appreciate that. Beautiful Mystery with the Cash App, with the supporting. You know, I got the ladies that support me. Despite what some people may say, I get a lot of support. But I just want to know, I would have to ask them. That's what one thing I would, if I'm sitting across from a woman, I would ask her, I say, hey, what would attract a woman to a guy who you want to be in a relationship with, who doesn't work, who doesn't have a car, who doesn't have a job, who doesn't have his own place to stay? And this, I'm talking about an adult woman over the age of 30. What would attract you to a guy like that? What does a guy like that bring to a relationship? You do know you're going to carry the financial burden, right? You do know he's not going to have the food cooked and the house cleaned up by the time you get back, right? Now, maybe in some cases they'll do that. You do know he's going to drive your car to see other women, right? I would just like to know from them why that is. Why are you attracted to somebody that's a financial burden? Enlighten me on that. Because again, you got to think things through.
BW are insecure and want to be with dudes they can control.
I can agree with that. Shout out to Angela. That's what it seems to be. They want to control in the situation. They want to say so. You know, when things go wrong, they want to be able to kick them out the house. I could definitely see that going on. And that's sad because these women should have more self-esteem, but they don't. Just like these women who get on OnlyFans, who are Instagram models. A lot of them are dating guys that ain't got nothing going on. They're the photographers. And they're living off of the thirst of other men. They're living off the thirst of other men. Oh, of course, it's the Dizzic. We all know that, there are women out there that like the thug Dizzic. We all know this. Like Marie Holmes kept bailing that man out by any means necessary, right? Only for him to get locked back up for 7 years. That thug Dizzic will have women going crazy. It will have women turn on their family members, their friends. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of control issues with the women of today. They bought into the feminism BS. They believe in the feminism. They think it's okay to be empowered, to be in control. So we know that they are in a situation where they are choosing these dysfunctional men and then later complaining about it, trying to put all men in the same category when it comes to them leveling up and divesting. They want to divest from their preference. How can you divest from your preference? It ain't just it ain't just one guy that you dated and you said never again. Never again is over and over and over and over. It's that same type of guy, right? Y'all know that there's women out there like them thugs, like them street dudes, them dope boys. Y'all know that, right? And they will defend their right to like those guys. They will. I mean, look at social media. They try to make it seem like they try to make a difference between the men that call them out and the men that don't. Have y'all noticed that the dudes who tend to be pro-woman, right there to defend women, they will be the type of guys that you don't want to be, right? Like you say, I would never want to be that type of guy. These guys know that their whole livelihood is dependent on them women. I would never want to be in that situation. I would never want to be in a situation where Western feminist minded women have control over how I think. I think not, I think not. But apparently some of you guys, not y'all here, I know y'all understand what I'm saying, but you got some of these guys, man, they are heavily dependent on that woman to keep them from going homeless, to keep them with a roof over their head and food on their table, and a car to drive to go see another woman, to pay that cell phone bill, to help on their child support. And I would ask women, especially in 2021, you got all this technology, you can do all this research. Why are you getting with these dudes that y'all get with, man? These dudes are grown children. Have y'all ever spoke to a woman and she with her boyfriend, and the dude, you wouldn't even notice that that's the boyfriend because he's quiet, he's sitting off to the side? That happened to me years ago. This might have been 10 years ago. I was at a movie theater and this lady walked in, and I think I was waiting on somebody. Yeah, this is about 10 years ago. And she started talking to me. And I talked to her. And I believe she's with a dude. Because you could tell the look on his face, like, I can't believe she in here talking. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't making no eye contact with looking in my direction. You know what I'm saying? But I'm the type of person, I think I don't know, I might have been more sharp back then. Because I could read two people at the same time. Like, you know how you talking to one person, you kind of reading the other? And I was looking at this body language. I was talking to her, but I was kind of reading this body language at the same time. And I know he may have felt some type of way because she was striking up a conversation with me. But it didn't seem like a couple. Because one, she looked like she could have been a couple of years older than him. Just a couple. But I could still tell they're a couple because it was at night. It was like a late night. It might have been after about 8, 9. And they came in there. You know? And she just striking up a conversation with me, you know? I've seen situations where women will be walking, like they'll drive up to a store, get out the car, and the boyfriend's on the passenger side. So she drove there and she's walking with this dude like she's his mama. Like she's walking in front of him. Instead of walking together, she's walking in front of him like she is mama. And I know that ain't his mama because they both was about the same age. So I'm saying, like, that's the dynamic. We got a lot of males out here. We got a lot of males who are out here dependent on women. These guys have never known how to be dependent, self-sufficient. They don't really know what manhood is. Now, they will brag about all these women they can get. Bro, you're getting low self-esteem women. You're getting low self-esteem women, all right, who have self-hate issues, and you are just giving them a boost by whatever you're telling them, by being in a relationship with them. That's not something to brag about. Why would you brag about being with a low self-esteem woman who's probably got multiple kids already? First off, any woman who's with a guy who's willing to be with her and she got like 3, 4 kids, you gotta look at, especially the guy financially is in bad straits. You have to look at that with a side eye, because most men are gonna be, you know, they're not gonna be quick to want a wife of a woman with more than 2 kids. You know? Okay, hold up. Hold on a second, people. Okay. I don't want sons, companions. It could seem like that. I just want to know, like, what woman is gonna be sexually attracted to a man that they're going to be treating like their son. I mean, they could literally, put these dudes on their tax returns. They could literally add a space where you can add your broke boyfriend to your tax return because he would definitely be a write-off. But these low self-esteem women, man, they're in the majority. There's a lot of low self-esteem women out here, man. And they're getting used up by these males. They're taking care of these males. They're financing the lifestyle of these males. And they're bitter about that. And it's like, well, wait a minute. You need to make those changes. You may not want to change. You may like your thugs, You may love dating thugs. You may think that there's nothing wrong with dating thugs until they are a complete financial burden on you, until they done got another woman pregnant. Now all of a sudden you want to break up with him. You didn't break up with him when he was a financial burden, when he was, putting you financially in a very bad spot. You didn't want to break up then? Like, when are you going to wake up? Like, ladies, you can't keep blaming all men because you like thugs. You like the bad boys. You like the street dudes. You like the guys fresh out of jail. And they come live with you. You calling them and writing them about how you going to give them a place to stay when they get out. And as soon as they get on their feet, they out of there. As soon as they get on their feet, they gone. As soon as they can get a job or whatever, they out of there. Or a better situation, they're gone. You're looking crazy because you done alienated everybody around you, your friends, your family, just so you can make room for a guy who's only going to be there temporarily. You need to get with you a man who's intelligent, who has a lot going for himself. Financially, he's in a very good situation. He has his own stuff. Like, he ain't got to call you to borrow no gas money. Every date y'all go on, you paying. You taking him on vacation. What about getting with a guy who you can rely on? When is that going to sink in? I had a chick brag to me about being able to provide for her baby father. I'm like, what? See, that's that toxic femininity taking care of the baby's fathers. It's just like with the chick who was like a escort OnlyFans model, right? She gifted her boyfriend $20,000. And I'm like, and there are women who want to do stuff like that. It's like the roles have been completely reversed. And then we wonder why these women don't respect us. It's just like with the Beat the Cheat challenge. The video's on Patreon. And at first now, I had 2 video clips in it, but it wouldn't let me do it. But I had to re-edit it. But in the videos, you got the woman pouring boiling hot water on her boyfriend and then beating him with the belt. She lucky dude didn't knock her head off. It's a big dude. The second video was the chick and I guess the woman that her boyfriend was trying to cheat with. They colluded together to come to his hotel room. And when they got in there, dude under the covers, she start beating him with a belt. And the chick looked bigger than him. So the dude's dating a chick that's bigger than him, probably more masculine. The way he was running around that bed is almost like she was beating her child. But that was her boyfriend. That wasn't her son that she was beating. That was her boyfriend she was beating. And that's the dynamic that we have. That's where we are, especially in the melanated community, man. So when people say, you know what, why aren't you pro-black? Why would I be pro-baby mama and dysfunctional jailbird male? Why would I be pro that? Because that's what the pro-wax are pushing. I'm all about pro-truth and pro-logic. building with people of intelligence, not dummies. Okay? So we got too many dummies out here, especially dummies trying to be smart, trying to tell you something that you probably didn't heard already. We need less of that. Shout out to everybody that's here, man. Make sure you like the stream. All right? It is about emasculation. There are women that enjoy emasculating men. They enjoy it. They enjoy emasculating black men, especially.
KLONEDAK really wants Bussy.
Oh, not really wants Bussy. Appreciate it, Rolando. Let's see. I don't like her dudes, but I understand where they come from. But at the end of the day, they chose life. It's all about choices, Tamara. And see, the thing is, Tamara, I got a whole side of my family that's in the streets. I got cousins that's been to prison, back and forth to prison. Now, these are real street dudes. These ain't these guys who claim to be from the streets. Now, you got dudes that will claim to be from the streets. They ain't never done no time. They ain't never been out here like that, right? But they claim they're from that. But anyway, I have family members that have been in these streets. I got those that have changed their life. They said, you know what? I'm tired of jail. I want to get a job and take care of my kids. And that's what they do. I don't never hold a person's past against them. The reason why I'm speaking on thugs in this video or this stream was due to Marie Holmes and her thug boyfriend suing her, and how there are consequences to, loving on these guys, right? Consequences to it. I am pro logic and pro truth. You either are with that or you're not. You can't save people that don't want to save themselves. And sooner or later, they'll see what I'm saying is true. And for the guys that will say, well, good guys get manipulated. Good guys get played. You have to be a good guy in what you do in your life. That don't mean that you're a pushover. It doesn't mean that you're easy to run game on. It just means that you have your shit together and you are living your life problem and drama free. That's how you become a good man. By not being in drama and BS for no reason and just living your life and not getting in trouble, not having to worry about going back and forth to jail. Right? So I just want y'all to understand that, especially a lot of you women, it's up to you to choose where your life goes. You don't want to be a Marie Holmes bailing out your boyfriend out of jail because he continues to screw up. You don't want to be waiting on the dude to get out, talking about, I'm being loyal. I'm gonna ride or die. Okay. Then you're going to look like a fool when he ends up with somebody else. And they not with you. And you realize you've been used. You realize that, there was really no love there from them. You were just getting played. Make sure y'all like the stream. We need to do better for the youth, man. We need to do better for the youth. There's a lot of women who have hate issues with men, especially black men that are raising black sons. That's not good. Because what happens when you try to ruin your son? He's going to end up wanting to date Becky. He's not going to want no black woman. And he's going to hold that over you. And he's going to be able to talk about and document the fact that you didn't love yourself. And you didn't love him. That self-hate has a way of having a trickle effect. Kids are not stupid. They notice those things. But the youth needs to have more guidance now because they're out here alone now. Social media is raising children. There are teenagers now who grew up on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. When I was in high school, we did have MySpace, right? And then later on Facebook, but we didn't really have Instagram and Twitter the way it is now. I mean, the way it is now is a complete cesspool. It's a lot of narcissism out there, right? But if you don't have guidance over these young ones, we may be off worse than we are now. Because right now, we are not in a good place. We are not in a good place whatsoever right now. But we have a choice to make, man. We only have one life to live, and we do need to enjoy it. You know, I want people to be able to enjoy their life because you never know when you don't have it anymore. But I just want you to understand, instead of being bitter, find happiness. Stop wasting your life with men who are only going to bring you misery, who are only going to drive you to being more into self-hatred and to being more bitter outwardly towards the world. Because you can tell when a woman is going through things by the way she acts at work. The way that she acts at work, the way that she interacts in public, the way that she is even on social media. You can tell these people are going through a lot. And it has to do with the men that they are putting in their lives, man. The men that they're with are aging them. Okay. These women never smile. Have y'all seen photos of women and you've never seen them smile? It's because they hate their life. I don't care how many pictures they take with their husband or boyfriend. If that woman ain't smiling next to that man, she don't like that man. If a woman can't smile next to the man that they supposedly love, then they don't love that guy. And they're looking for a way out. These are facts. They want to get away from that guy. That's why they never smile when they're next to him. They look like they want to be any place but there. I agree, India. Anybody dislikes this commentary is definitely a hater. Why don't I see some of you females smiling when you're next to your dude? Why y'all look tense? like you have a story to tell. What kind of story do you have to tell? I can see that, Mr. Pennant, but I'm talking about consistently. I'm not talking about just one photo. I'm talking about consistently. It's like it's if you can read body language. You got to be able to read body language, and you have to be able to read into what people are doing. All right, you can tell, or you can tell they're content. They're content in their life. They're content with what they have, which is fine. But are you truly happy? You know, I'm all about searching for happiness. I'm not about being miserable. I would hate to be miserable, you know. I would hate to be miserable. I'd want happiness over misery any day of the week. Right? But I think that we're just too busy trying to find battles to fight instead of just living our life the way we want to, on our own rules and our own terms. You see, I'm not the biggest proponent of writing a piece of paper, a contract to say, hey, I'm married to this person, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to be with somebody long term. It doesn't mean that there's not a future I've mapped out for myself. We have to live life the way we want to. Not for anybody else. Like, if people have opinions of me, I don't care. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of me. And I usually make the right decisions in regards to how I do things. But again, there's a lot of miserable, hurt people out here. And hurt people. And they don't even know that they're hurting other people. That's the sad part. They don't even think that they're hurting anybody, but they are. But it just shows you where they are. They're in a bad state of mind. They're in a bad place. And you don't want to be in that place. I wouldn't want to be around miserable people. I wouldn't want to be around people that made me feel bad all the time, whether I'm in a relationship with them or not. I'd want to be happy, not miserable, not wanting to get as far away from this person as possible. Yeah. Make sure y'all like the stream, man. All right. But we have a lot of distractions going on.
If there's no peace, I cannot release. Peace, Jaye.
Peace, Pop Smoke. And Ghost, shout out to you. But to the ladies, man, I know there are ladies that are listening to me. You have to make a choice. Choose happiness, no regrets, self-love and not self-hate. We got too many women who are hateful already. I mean, look at YouTube. There's a lot of hateful women on here. I don't watch them. I may come across, videos. I see the title or the thumbnail. And you can see there's a lot of hate there. There's a lot of misery. That's why they'll never be married. That's why they will never be in a blissful relationship, because their mind is already screwed up. And they've probably wasted enough years already. Because you can blame everybody else all you want to. But at the end of the day, you got to look yourself in the mirror and you have to make choices that are beneficial towards you. I'm about positive energy. I'm about good energy. I'm about being around people who like to smile, who like to be happy and not miserable as fuck. Okay? I know people may feel some type of way about me. I don't care. So what? I get to do what I love doing, is making content and being able to bring clarity to the masses. So who gives a shit at the end of the day? Everybody has an opinion. Doesn't mean your opinion is better than mine. Doesn't mean mine is better than yours, but I know my opinion is right. I know my opinion is right. Because I'm a person who thinks things through. I've always been a thinker. Ever since I was young, I've always been a thinker. I've always thought about things before I did it. A lot of life now, just everything is on emotion. Everything is emotion filled. I'm not about emotion. I'm about results. Good results, not bad results.
Hello, beautiful people. When you know better, you do better. Heart, 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 heart.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Robin. Shout out to Robin. Thanks. Very good point.
These are the same BAWs that want the friend to save them 4 minions later.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Texas Marine.
Being around people is contagious enough to make you miserable and bring you down.
Absolutely. Thanks, Abby. Appreciate that. I'm going to give a shout out to Lisa with the 25 on Cash App. Shout out to Lisa if you are listening. I'm pretty sure you are. It's just a great show. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Appreciate the support from you. All right. Listen, I want y'all to be happy. I want y'all to find the happiness that you seek and get away from the negative people, the negative energy. I got people that was you, Miss Lakers. Shout out to Miss Lakers. Miss Lakers with the Cash App. I appreciate that, Miss Lakers. I just got it, Miss Lakers. I just got your Cash App. Shout out to Miss Lakers with the Cash App. I told you that the ladies support Jada Black heavy. But not just any woman, okay? Because there are tons of women on here and other platforms who they'll listen. Man, like, I'm not listening to that guy. But there are those that will listen to me because they know what I'm saying is the truth. You know, I ain't for everybody. Listen, my content ain't for everybody. And I love that. I love that when I come to my chat room or my comment section, I'm going to see a certain type of people that you're not going to see on other people's shit. And I'm good with that. That lets me know that effectively I've been able to bring people together who understand me and want to hear from me. More so than maybe they want to listen to other people. Or maybe they just fuck with what I'm saying, you know? I don't mean to sound, like it's a situation of, well, I'm different than them. No, it just shows me that when I do these live shows and when I post videos, there are people who look for it every day. And that's a good thing. There are people who look forward to what I have to say every day. David said, respectfully, I've been in the clouds and I love the show. Thanks, Dixie. Appreciate it. And I have a lot of women who may be a little bit older, a little more established, maybe even married, and listen to me. That's that assortment. I have an assortment of women from different spectrums. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Ms. Lakers. Appreciate the support, though. So it's good I can come here and I can see a group of people that I fucks with, that fucks with me. That's always cool, man. Because, it's like I have my people. Whenever I say fam, I don't just say fam just to be saying fam. I say fam because that's how I feel about the people that watch me. It's fam, and that's good to see. That's good to see. And being able to bring these people together every show or even every video is always cool. I've been doing this for years. And I've been consistent for years. Now, there are topics that I speak about more now than I did before, but that's because evolution happens. You're going to change. The change is going to happen. You can't run away from change. Change is inevitable. You have to be able to embrace it. I embrace change as much as possible. Not the crazy BS that we're seeing that people want, not the hardcore left-leaning BS. I'm talking about with technology. I'm talking about with certain talking points like I utilize speaking about celebrities because it's very effective and it's entertaining at the same time. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? But I do like bringing people together, But yeah, man, shout out to y'all. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Yeah, hopefully Tiger Woods pull through. I think he will with the car crash. I think he'll be all right. Tiger's a tough guy. And I know he's gonna pull through with the leg injuries and second, third. But hopefully everybody else is doing good. And hopefully y'all have a good rest of your afternoon or night. It's night now, but the rest of your night, if you're on the West Coast, it's probably afternoon. But hopefully you have a good rest of your night. All right. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Hold up.
The more modern we've become as a society, the more depressed people have become.
Absolutely, Saeed. I've noticed that. I think I've even referenced that. I referenced how We have more now than we ever have before, and we are still getting more and more miserable. It's crazy how we're getting more and more miserable. You know, we have all this and we still are miserable people. You know, we still very miserable. Why is that? You know, but I appreciate that, man. Okay. Shout out to Lonnie, the single Pringle.
Hello, waving hand, medium skin tone Jaye. I'm a silent supporter and I always try to use the wisdom you teach in my life every day. I am 23 years old and I love your show very much. Smiling face with hearts, folded hands, medium skin tone, 2 hearts.
That is very cool, Lonnie. I appreciate that. Thanks for being a supporter. You know, they say you're a silent supporter, but that's support nonetheless. All right. And I'm glad I'm able to bring wisdom to you and other people. Okay. To help better all of y'all, to help better all of your lives. All right. So thanks to you. And thanks to all of you too. I'll see y'all in the next one. All right. Y'all take care.